Alright, welcome back everybody. As promised, we are going to be looking at D.Va's hair, and not much of hair is really here. We just have a couple really crappily and quickly blocked out pieces, but we can kind of start to play with a lot of this stuff and really start to give it some character. So make sure you got your references up if you're following along. If you're referencing, D.Va and making D.Va like I am, or if you're making your own character, whatever you're up to, reference is important. And I don't think I mentioned that enough. I'm not just working from memory. You know, when I was starting out with this character and blocking it in, I was, but now I definitely do have some D.Va reference up that I can look at from the game, as well as some 2D illustrations from the game and official art, as well as maybe a couple others here that I have in a folder. I don't have those pulled up quite yet though. So with this hair, I'm just trying to get the placement and location for where this will be. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want the general, most basic shape to be in a location that I'm happy with. And I got some subdivision levels here. I should probably delete these. I don't really want them, but we can start to mess with all this stuff and really let it take shape. Using a combination of the trim brush and move brush right now to just kind of adjust this and hopefully help it look a little bit more like the character. Speaking of getting rid of stuff, I'm going to turn off these ears. I don't even want them there. There will be headphones in that place later. But you know what? Actually, while I am adjusting this, I take it back. I lied. We'll keep this here, just so that if I do move the hair back a little too far, or wherever, I can kind of know where that needs to be placed. So at this point, you've seen me throw in some curved tube pieces, some different meshes for blocking this hair out. Now all we need to do is continue to repeat that process and just use the move brush, the actual move brush, maybe some snake hook, which is kind of like the move brush, but a little bit stronger and sharper. Use all these tools and actually spend the time creating the hair. So I am going to fast forward just a little bit here as I work on the hair. You guys can pause, follow along if you need to or want to, or just continue to work on your own stuff. Like I've said in the past, this stuff takes a long time and a lot of work. So to kind of speed up that process, I'm going to do all the work here, and you can kind of see the sped up version. So here we go. I'm going to fast forward, and we will get back to the real-time sculpting here in a sec. Alright, so we're going to slow down the footage here at this point, just because I want to show you guys something new with the slice curve brush. I'm going to use this brush, Control and Shift, you can select the slice curve brush there, to kind of split up this hair piece that I've made here. So instead of using a bunch of different strands, we're again using that slice curve brush to create our cuts, or not cuts, but we will be creating cuts in this. And with those cuts, we will be making separate strands. So it might not be obvious exactly where I'm going this immediately, but the more cuts we create, I think you'll start to get the idea. So once I have all these parts and pieces, we can start to split all these up. And then from there, can create individual large hair chunks. So these will end up being our strands. So if you don't know how to use that curved slice brush, you can just pull it out and it will be straight, and then pressing Alt will allow it to curve, and then double pressing Alt will give you a hard shape transition. So there's a lot of different shapes and slices and all sorts of stuff that you can make with this tool. So we'll throw that in there, and I'll undo just so that we don't end up doing something that we don't want. And from here, I could select each piece and split, or I could come down to split, make sure I quick save just because I don't want any crashes, and I'm going to say groups split. So that should split each of those parts into their own group, and that looks like it did a pretty good job. So from here, I am going to grab each of these pieces and perform a close holes operation as well as Z-remesh. And from there, after we go ahead and do that to all these pieces, we should, whoops, and that was 5,000 polygons, we should be able to start kind of blocking in this hair a little bit better, and you'll see how this looks. I'll go ahead and turn off my solo mode so that you can see what this is starting to look like. And the reason you want to close holes on these is so that you don't end up with just an empty hollow part. We want to be able to smooth this like I just did there to get more of a tube shape. So we'll go ahead and close holes and Z-remesh these last two pieces, and we should have the block out for our hair here, or at least the front part of our hair. Got a lot of different parts and pieces going on here, so with that, it's going to take time to really start this, to get this all to take shape. These are a bit blocky, but again, we can adjust that shape as we go. And we got a lot of stuff going on here, but it's going to take a lot more work to get this where we need it and want it. So I will see you guys in the next part where we can begin doing some of that.